Is Mercedes about to mess up her marriage because of Reza? Let's get into this, guys. We're reviewing the Valley Persian style. If your husband went to jail defending your honor, would you then ask him to make up with the person he was defending you from? Because that's exactly what Mercedes is doing, and I just need to talk about it. So here's the backstory. Mercedes and Tommy married, I think, what, almost 10 years ago, and together they have one kid. And remember how challenging it was for her to even have that one kid. So I was so happy to see them happily married. They have their kid living in a house in Los Angeles, I guess in the Valley. And of course, to have the new show since Shaws of Sunset got canceled. Mercedes, back in the day, had a huge falling out with her best friend Reza. Mercedes and Reza have been friends for many, many years, but they had a very bad fight. Apparently, when Mercedes was like sick, dying in the hospital, because of the fight, Reza didn't even show up. And for Tommy, that was like a straw that broke the Campbell's back. So Tommy, being the loyal husband, stood up for his wife. Things escalated, and Tommy went to Reza's house, damaged some property, landscaping, flower pots, and all of this was caught on camera. The consequence was jail time, a restraining order, anger management classes. And this took a year of his life. This is according to Tommy. So Tommy has made it very clear, I'm done. I don't want anything to do with these people ever. Very clear. He's done. He doesn't want anything to do with these people. The current drama. So now the Valley is back. It's on Wednesday nights on Bravo. I watch it Wednesday nights on Peacock. I think it's Wednesday night on Peacock, or Wednesday or Thursday, guys. Peacock. The Valley is back, and Mercedes wants Tommy to come back into the fold, hanging out with the group and be around Reza. Tommy keeps telling her, I will never reconcile with Reza. That's my boundary. Mercedes says she feels like a single parent because she has to navigate these spaces alone. So on the show, they do group activities as per usual, these reality shows. And Mercedes has to go and attend these events without her husband. Even some of the people on the show have never met her husband, Tommy. And so they're like, are we ever going to meet Tommy? And here's how I see it. So Tommy doesn't want anything to do with Reza. And for me, if that's my husband, even though I've never been married before, I'm going to just honor that, right? I'm going to honor his request because I find that to be a very enduring and loving quality because he's like got my back. He's committed. And why am I going to try to force him to become friends with Reza when he doesn't want to? It's fine for me. I feel he's being honest. He's saying, I'm loyal to you. I will do everything with you except this one thing. And Mercedes is just not, to me, hearing him. Meanwhile, Reza is married and his marriage is fine. So why is Mercedes willing to risk her marriage for Reza? At some point, we have to grow up, especially when you get married and you take those vows to become one. It's like your husband should be put before your friends. He shouldn't be considered in the same light as your friends. It doesn't matter how long you've been friends with someone, but I just feel like the husband is such a sacred relationship. What if you and your sister, for example, were really close and then your sister gets married and you always hear this thing, I married my best friend. Well, that's exactly what that means. Your best friend, right? And that's the person you are now attached to, assigned to. And so that relationship should come first before any other relationship. The question is, can you compartmentalize relationships in a marriage? If your partner doesn't get along with your best friend, do you force it or can you keep those worlds separate? Should you keep those worlds separate? Why not keep those worlds separate? I'm not married, so I genuinely don't know how this feels, but to me, you have a son together, you have a home together. Why does he have to be friends? But for me, in the case of Mercedes, she and her husband have a son together. They have a home together. Why does he have to be friends with Reza? And honestly, imagine forcing it and Tommy gets into another fight. Isn't that worse? Isn't it more embarrassing for everyone? Because especially since Tommy is so angry about it and so like it just you can see his blood boiling when he's asked to, go out and visit these people. And then there's the plot twist. Reza, Gonessa, and Mercedes meet up in some like herb marijuana restaurant in Los Angeles. It looks very interesting. I mean, I don't smoke pot, but it looks like you could do other things at this restaurant. So they meet up and they start talking, and Mercedes is telling Gonessa, hey, listen, I want to have an open house. I want you to come to my open house, but the open house is on my listing, which is your sister's listing. And Gonessa says, you know, me and my sister don't get along. I am not going to that house. They talk about Tommy and they ask, is Tommy going? And she said, no, he's not going. And Gonessa's like, well, why isn't he going? Because he doesn't get along with Reza. And so she said, end of story. That's the exact same reason for me. I'm happy for you for your open house, but don't ask me to get involved because you know how I feel about the relationship between me and my sister. So meanwhile, Reza says, well, let me text Tommy. If I text him, I don't mind texting him to see if he could come and then maybe smooth things over with him. Mercedes is very happy because she really wants, for some reason, her husband to come to this open house. And so Reza sends a note. It's a very nice note. He reads it for the whole, all the ladies to hear it, and they all feel that it's such a sweet, charming note. The scene ends, and then we later learn that Tommy did respond to Reza's note, and he basically said, Reza, I'm open to talking, but after the filming ends. So, in Tommy's mind, not only he feels that this whole thing is for ratings. And for me, if that is true, and Mercedes, you are about to sell out your marriage for a storyline, I get that this is your job, but really? I don't know. What I do know is loyalty matters. And sometimes it's never going to be what you want it to be. And you got to decide, what can you live with? Is Mercedes willing to give up her husband, because he's not going to be friends with my friends, that this is the end, of our relationship, and then deprive her son of having the father in the home? I just feel like it's a little bit extreme, and she should learn to connect and manage her life without Reza and Tommy being friends. Let me know in the comments section, whose side are you on? Can you compartmentalize or not? All right, that's enough of everybody else's business today. I'm about to go and steam it off. The link in the bio if you want to join me for some of our shower steamers. All right, that's enough of everybody's business. I'm about to go steam it off. Link in the bio if you want to join me.